The town of Kill Devil Hills is exploring the practicality of implementing a beach nourishment project for the oceanfront area from Prospect Avenue North to the Kill Devil Hills Kitty Hawk corporate limits. Please join us as we examine the town's long-standing commitment to beach preservation, some of the early approaches considered to fight erosion, what a wide beach strand means to our geographical area, and how you can learn more about the town's plans for beach nourishment and make your voice heard during the process. To bridge the years between the early 1980s and today, we welcome longtime hotel owners and operators Cliff Blakely of the Sea Ranch and Warren Judge of the Mariner. Joining them is Lowell Perry, who served as the town's mayor for over 12 years. Local businessman and resident Aubrey Davis of the Outer Banks Brewing Station and Kill Devil Hills Mayor Sheila Davies addressed the concept of beach nourishment and the project being considered for the implementation in 2016.
Protecting public and private property and infrastructure is important to our community and our way of life. A lot of people don't realize that erosion has long been a concern along Dare County's ocean beaches, or that for most of its incorporated life, 60 years plus, Kill Devil Hills has been a leader in Dare County's fight against erosion and flooding. As early as 1956, Kill Devil Hills was working with the Dare County Storm Rehabilitation Committee to install groins along a particular section of beach in our town. Property owners in that section of town were suffering enough flooding and erosion that they were agreeable to bearing the cost for installation of these beach building improvements. And that continued for many years, but by 1983, erosion had eaten away enough beach that a half a dozen cottages and 2 hotels were seriously threatened.
Me as the town mayor and everything, I said, it's time the town should step in and try to help these people. They're taxpayers. That's their living there, and they need some help. We got permits. Alice and Cliff bought a barge. They had it cleaned inside and out. The plan was to sink it offshore to make a breakwater there to help on the erosion problem. We were satisfied that that would help because just south of the Sea Ranch on the beach, there were 2 merchant ships that had broke loose in tow and washed up as far as it could to the shore. You could get up on one of the balconies at the Sea Ranch and look to your south, and you could see where the ships, you could still see part of the ships showing out of the water. But the beach had built up where those ships sunk, making a breakwater. And I said, well, if it helped that much there, this barge will help.
It was a bold move.
Yeah.
And it would have worked.
It would have worked. I thoroughly believe that. And it was a shortcoming of them to put obstacles in our way to save the Sea Ranch Hotel and the
Mariner.
The condos that you built there.
And the Mariner to the north of it.
Yeah. And I have always believed that a property owner should be allowed to protect his property. And that's what they were trying to do and where the town was trying to help. After all, they were taxpayers, and we owed them the fact that we were trying to help. And it's just been a shame. I've never seen anything, a road like that did, and it was going to take the restaurant.
In 1984, the Board of Commissioners heard from several property owners in response to the barge concept being considered by the Sea Ranch.
By 1990, decisions on how to build up local beaches were taken out of local control and placed with various state and federal agencies. Eventually, in North Carolina, regulations were in place that prohibited the use of hard structures, such as groins, jetties, or seawalls, as solutions to the problem of erosion, since each of these structures cause more erosion further down the beach from the area that they may protect.
Other attempts to fight erosion were not successful. The barge was never sunk offshore of the Sea Ranch, and the owners began to consider other erosion control methods.
Well, I think the first thing we tried to do was a semi-permeable groin on the north end of our property that was about 50 feet long. And it was not very attractive. And in the very short term, it collected sand just on the dune side of that particular berm. Unfortunately, what we noticed in about 2 or 3 months, that the portion that was sticking out in the sand was actually causing an escarpment a little further south, which was still in our property zone. So we cut half of it off. And the half that was up in the dune, and still today, is protecting that portion of dune. But we realized right then that groins out into the ocean, just one of them, you have to have a series of them, and that's one of the reasons that there are very stringent rules about how groins can be placed. Then we basically went with the sandbags and a lot of replenishment, trucking sand in at our expense for the next 12 years. We probably had 4 or 5 applications of sandbags with soldier pilings. Thousands and thousands and thousands of triaxle loads of sand. One particular case back in the late 80s, early 90s, we trucked sand for 16 days, 24 hours a day, just to keep the buildings there. It was our family business. If the buildings weren't there, we were out of business.
That's right, absolutely.
How about other efforts? You discussed sandbags, and you've discussed the trucking of sand. What else did you do out there?
Well, there's a big concrete, what is that called, a wave buster? A big concrete thing. That's right at 3rd Street. It saved a little bit of sand behind it, but it didn't stop the erosion, because it's one of those things, you can't have one structure and expect it to take care of a width of beach. That has to, and you know, it's basically what we came down to was renourishment, and the only way we could renourish feasibly was to truck it in, because we didn't have the expertise nor the wherewithal to have it pumped in from the bottom of the ocean. It was our only thing we could do to be viable. So we did it, and it cost us a fortune. But the hotel is still there.
I didn't realize there was a long history of erosion in the town of Kill Devil Hills, and I'm sure there's a lot of others that didn't either. Can you tell us about it?
Well, let me start with sharing some information about the beach nourishment process itself. The town of Kill Devil Hills is planning on nourishing a portion of our North Beach area. Beach nourishment is the placement of sand on a beach by mechanical or hydraulic dredging of the sand from a borrow site offshore. Sand is pumped from the borrow site to the beach through large pipes and then mechanically distributed on the beach.
When will beach renourishment begin in Kill Devil Hills?
If all goes well, nourishment will begin in the spring or summer of 2016. There are no construction activities in 2015. In the spring-summer of 2016, the plan is for the sand to be placed on the ocean beach from the Kill Devil Hills northern border with Kitty Hawk, south to Prospect Avenue in the vicinity of the Wright Memorial. Kill Devil Hills portion is part of a larger project where Kitty Hawk proposes to nourish its entire shoreline, and Duck plans to nourish a mile or more north of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers research facility.
So how much is going to be done? Is there going to be a lot of sand?
The town's beach erosion control and infrastructure protection project will place approximately 912,000 cubic yards, or 70 cubic yards per foot, of nourishing sand within the municipal services district. If the town of Kitty Hawk pursues beach nourishment, there will be no north end taper, as Kitty Hawk's project will mesh smoothly with Kill Devil Hills.
So how much is this going to cost the town of Kill Devil Hills?
The overall cost from planning to completion will be approximately $10.7 million. Approximately $5 million of the project will be paid for through Dare County's beach nourishment monies, which is funded by occupancy tax revenues. The town will provide for the remainder of the project's cost through two revenue sources. One, an estimated 3 cents per $100 property tax increase for most properties. And second, establishing a municipal service district which will have a proposed increase of 33 cents per $100.
Mayor, what is a municipal service district?
A municipal service district is a special revenue district created to address an issue for a specific area of town. Examples include financing services or improvements, providing or maintaining services at a greater level than the whole town. The town is proposing this municipal service district to comprise the properties included in the approximately 2.6 miles of oceanfront that will be nourished. These properties will be responsible for a 33 cent per $100 increase in their property tax rate.
I know a lot of other towns are proceeding with beach renourishment. Why would Kill Devil Hills proceed with beach renourishment now?
The timing of our project is important to saving us money. By coordinating Kill Devil Hills Beach Nourishment Project with similar projects in Kitty Hawk and Duck, we'll expect approximately a 17% overall savings in the cost of the project. We'll only have to mobilize the dredging, pumping, and placement equipment once, generalizing a great cost savings.
And why does Kill Devil Hills want to take on such a big project, such as beach renourishment?
That's a good question. Our beaches have changed a great deal since the town incorporated in 1953. The photos illustrate the beaches of the 1950s and 1960s and compare them to the same areas now.
I know the beach renourishment project is going to affect properties along the beach. What is its impact going to be on others?
Our local beaches are the destination of hundreds of thousands of visitors each year. Many return year after year because the Outer Banks of North Carolina have some of the most enjoyable, clean, family-friendly beaches in the United States. Having wide recreational beaches is important to continued visitation and the economic well-being of our area. Consider these facts from North Carolina's Division of Travel and Tourism.
Well, as far as erosion in Dare County, or the northern beaches of Dare County, which is what affects me, that's what we sell in Dare County. That's what brings 99% of the businesses in Dare County are here. Basically, I know a lot of people don't realize it, but they're here because of the beach. It's evident that the hotels are there because of the beach. But every other business in Dare County, it all goes back to tourism, and without the beach, we don't have any tourism.
Right.
It's just, that's the beach, the burn zone, which is between the buildings and the water. That is what people come here for. You know, they may play putt-putt one night, they may go to a movie one night, and, and hopefully they go out and eat at all of our wonderful restaurants a few nights a week. But the main reason they're here is to interact with the ocean, and they do that on the beach. And without a beach, you don't have anything to sell. Without that, our economy is we don't have an economy. We don't have anything to support the banks. We don't have anything to support the grocery stores that we all like to go to. We don't have any support for any of the businesses or the services that the tax money generates, that the tax money generates and gives to the towns. So we have garbage collect. Everything goes back to the beach. That's what erosion does. And if it's unchecked, our economy goes down with it.
Right.
The beach is our industry. However you want to shape it, color it, it's our industry. It provides our jobs. It supports our economy, and it is as important to the people on the mainland of Dare County as it is to the person that lives on the ocean front. Now, your values may be different, and what I worry about on a daily basis, and Cliff worries about on a daily basis, and the person living in Mans Harbor or Wanchese or Manio or the west side of Kill Devil Hills or between the highways, we all may worry about it and approach it in a different way, but we're all connected. We all need each other. There's a total interdependence upon each one of us, and the beach is where it starts. You know, again, as Cliff said, it's the attraction. It's what brings this billion-dollar tourism economy to our county and to our town. However you view the commerce of tourism, it affects you every day in your life. You know, go back to the folks that grew up here, the folks that have lived here for 30 years or 20 years or 50 years. You can benchmark in your life when you didn't have things that you have today. Chain grocery stores, the proliferation of restaurants, multiple medical choices, doctors. I mean, we all know the stories. You know, if you were in a car accident, you know, the Twyford's hearse picked you up, and if you didn't live to get to the doctor, they turned around and took you to the funeral home. I mean, our industry has done that for us. It's allowed our community to grow. It's allowed our community to step forward in progressively. The schools that we have 5,000 children in schools, 5,000 children in a county with a population of 34,000 people in a school system that's rated the top of the state. I mean, certainly property owners are paying property taxes, but we also get more than half the budget to run the county from the tourism industry, from people that don't live here. So it's greatly intertwined. We're totally independent. Our quality of life has escalated above anything anybody probably imagined 3 decades ago. We have great services, and yet we're still that small town feel. You know, people may moan and groan, oh, we're getting big, but when you compare us to other beaches other city beaches at the shore, you know, Ocean City, Virginia Beach, Myrtle Beach, we are just a wonderful place to be and live. And we all count on each other.
As a business owner, I can see that beach nourishment is going to be important as we maintain and grow the brewing station. It also seems that beach nourishment will help sustain property values and provide protection for public infrastructure like our roads, water system, and underground utilities. Is that right?
Absolutely. Remember how deep NC-12 Virginia Dare Trail was flooded when Hurricane Sandy affected the Outer Banks? So much of the water on the road there was a result of the flooding at East 3rd Street between the Sea Ranch and the Mariner.
During one of the worst storms on the East Coast in 1962, the infamous Ash Wednesday storm also brought ocean water up and over any dunes on the ocean front. Many areas of US 158 Croatan Highway were covered with seawater, and that highway was impassable. The footage you are watching was taken by longtime Kill Devil Hills Fire Chief N.R. Big Smitty Smith and provided to the town by his wife Virginia. It shows areas and houses near Avalon Pier completely swamped by the ocean. Somewhere under all that water is NC-12 Virginia Dare Trail.
Mayor, how soon can the beach renourishment project get started?
It's a little too early to set start dates or construction scheduling for any portion of the beach nourishment project. To save on cost, the plan is for KDH, Kitty Hawk, and Duck to bid all 3 projects together. The successful bidder will then be given a year to complete the projects. In order to get the best price, the successful bidder will be allowed the opportunity to make decisions on where and when it is most economical to start and finish the nourishment project. We hope to be under contract by January of 2016, and if all goes as planned, by the spring of 2016, we will have accomplished our pre-construction meetings. Then we'll have a better idea of where and when to expect the actual nourishment activity.
Where can we find additional information?
A portion of the town's website at kdhnc.com is dedicated to the Beach Nourishment Project. There are informational videos, commissioners' meeting minutes, reports, maps, and diagrams available for the public. Between February 2015 and when sand placement actually begins, we will be including a construction schedule, beach access information, updates on lifeguard services, and a timeline for the project as it advances.
On Monday, April 13th, 2015 at 5:30 p.m., the Kill Devil Hills Board of Commissioners will conduct a public hearing in the meeting room at the Administration Building, 102 Town Hall Drive off Collington Road to receive public comment on the map of the proposed Beach Nourishment Municipal Service District, statement regarding the service proposed to be provided within the Municipal Service District, and the plan for providing the proposed service. A copy of the Beach Nourishment Project Report is available for public inspection at the Administration Building in the office of the Town Clerk.
The Board of Commissioners relies on citizen and stakeholder input to guide our decision-making. Your comments are important to us and can be shared via email to all commissioners. Our email addresses are found on the town's website at kdhnc.com. Or comments can be made during public comment time at our open meetings. Our goal is to provide as much information as possible to keep you informed of the progress of beach nourishment and what you can expect. Please follow our website at kdhnc.com to get the latest information. Thank you.